Welcome back, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and I am back for part 3 of my Z-fold card set that I have been sharing with you for World Cardmaking Day. When I originally started this card set, I did think it was just going to be a 2-part video, but it did turn into 3 with decorating the fronts of the cards. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, I have them linked below, so make sure you go check those out. Otherwise, if you're ready to see how I decorate these, then just stick right here with this video. Like I mentioned in part 2, you could stop there and just keep these cards in your stash. And then when an occasion came up that you needed one, then you can pick one up, decorate it for the occasion, and send it off. But I am going to go ahead today and use this new Bow Bunny stamp set that I found at Tuesday morning to decorate these cards with sentiments. I knew a couple things when I decided to use this stamp set with these cards. I knew that I wanted to stamp it on like a fishtail piece and put it on this front 3x4 card. So that is why I pulled out my Stampin' Up! Triple Banner Punch. I just love this thing. Now you can always cut your own fishtails, or you can try using a square punch and getting the angle right on that. But I think this has been worth every cent I paid for it. It will put the fishtail end in 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and 2 inch strips of paper. This is a Stampin' Up! Product, and I got it from a friend. And if you don't have a demonstrator and you want to purchase one, I will link her shop below and link it right to the Triple Banner Punch. So I hope you'll go check that out. Off camera, I was playing a little bit with how exactly I wanted to finish these cards, even though I kind of knew the general direction. So I will share with you what I came up with. Originally, I thought I was going to be putting my sentiment on the off-white cardstock that I put inside the cards for the sentiment, but I didn't really like how it looked. The off-white just looked out of place, I thought, on the front with all of the craft cardstock. So then I went and I tried a craft cardstock fishtail with it, and I really liked that a lot better. So I decided to go with that, which also I did play with the direction of how I stamped it, because I thought, oh, maybe I'd want to put it down here in the corner. But I thought then this was too close to the edge. But that is definitely another way you could do this. What I am going to do in the end, which this is a little bit messed up, but I did stamp it so the sentiment went portrait. And now what I'm going to do for the final design is leave more cardstock at the top of the sentiment, and I am going to tie some hemp cord around there and just do a knot. I thought that added just a little something else to the cards instead of leaving it all just plain cardstock. So we'll go ahead and get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is pull out my craft cardstock and cut some strips that are 2 inches wide by 4¼ inches tall, or 2 by 4¼ inches. The first cut I'm going to make is going to be at 4¼ to just cut this right in half. Now what I could do is figure out exactly how tall I need this, and then maybe the pieces would be smaller. But when you use the Triple Banner Punch, it does take off some of the length. So honestly, I would rather start with a little bit longer pieces and trim it myself later after it's all punched and stamped. And then I'll cut 2-inch strips, and I do need 12 of these. So I will have to get out another scrap of craft cardstock, but I'll go ahead and get started now. So like I mentioned before, the banner punch does take some length off of the piece of paper itself, and depending which width you have, either the 1, 1.5, or 2 inches, it takes off a different amount on the length. So my pieces were 4¼ inches wide, so I'll just kind of tell you how much it takes off. And after I've punched it, it is now 4, so it takes off about 1/4 inch on the 2-inch strips. just so you have an idea. If you decide to make these, you can cut them a little bit smaller maybe. So I'll go ahead and punch all 12 of these, and you'll see how quick and easy it is. Now it is time to do the stamping. So I will be using, again, the Bo Bunny set and the brown ink. I am just going to eyeball it when I stamp, and I'm going to place it close to the point in the fishtail, maybe a 1/4 inch up from that. And then later when I go to cut it, I'll explain to you where on my trimmer I decide to align the top of the sentiment to know where to cut it at. Since I have 12 cards and there are 6 stamps in this set, I'm going to use each stamp twice. Since I have not used this stamp from the set yet, I am going to bring in a piece of scratch paper to just kind of condition my stamp, make sure it's taking ink nicely before I use it on my actual project. That did pretty nice already on its own. While I am busy stamping these, I did want to let you know about a flash giveaway I have going for this weekend. And if you hadn't seen it already, it is introduced in part 2 of this series, so episode 2B. So I hope that you will check that out. Now all of my sentiments are ready, so I'm going to start cutting them and getting the hemp cord on them to go on the final card. Before I cut it, I kind of want to figure out how much room I'm going to need above the sentiment so that hemp cording looks nice. Because I want you to be able to see the sentiment clearly, but not have too much up here at the top. So with my fingernail, I kind of marked where I think I might like the cut to be. What I'm going to do now is align that with my cut line on my cutter to see where it's at. So if I put the top of my sentiment at the 1-inch mark on my cutter, that is almost exactly where I made my fingernail crease. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I'll go through and cut each of my other sentiments so there's that same amount of just blank cardstock on the top. Now what I'm going to do is pull in my hemp cord, and I think I just got this at Walmart, and I actually got it years ago, so I don't know if they still sell it, but I liked the earth tones of it when I bought it. And what I'm going to do, and I'll do this a couple times so you can see it. I will go slow on this so you can see exactly how I do it, and I will show you a couple times. So I just align the cord on this left side after I've turned it upside down. I do 1 complete wrap, 2 complete wraps, 3 complete wraps, and then I pull my cord over to the other side and snip that off. Now I'm going to tie these in a knot, but before I do that, I'm going to wrap one of the strings around the other 3. And what that does, it kind of bunches the cord up nicely in the knot. And you can still then adjust the edges how you want it exactly. That one is done. I haven't decided yet if I want to adhere these just flat to the cards or pop them up. You know, with the hemp cord, now that I've tried to put it down flat, it really even won't go flat. So what I'm going to do is get out my foam tape and try one with just little foam tape strips. What I'm going to do is cut these in half so they fit up above the hemp cord. I'm going to do another one in half and put it below the bottom of where I have the cord at. And that's just to keep that from slipping too much after I put the card together. And then I'll put one maybe just at the bottom here. And my first card is completely finished. And now I have 12 awesome cards to send out. If you enjoyed this video and you're enjoying all of my videos this weekend during World Cardmaking Day, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you would like to know when I upload more videos, you can always hit subscribe below and click on that bell to get notifications. If you're already a subscriber and regular viewer, thank you so much for stopping back by. I know that you could be watching hundreds of thousands of other channels, but you've chosen my video today, and I really do appreciate that. Until my next video, which should be tomorrow, I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye.